She was asked to leave a flight because she seemed like she didn't belong. Hours later, her decision cost the airline's potential partner $600 million. She wasn't looking for special treatment, just a quiet seat near the window. Isabelle Moreau had taken this flight path many times, Chicago to New York. It was usually long and quiet, giving her time to read, think, and get ready. At 47, she knew how to be low-key and avoid drawing attention. She wore a simple blazer, dark jeans, flat shoes, carried a tablet with no brand logo, and didn't make loud calls. She was just calm and focused. Her ticket said 2A, first class, by the window. She liked the left side. The sun wasn't as bright for reading. She put her tablet under her arm, said a quiet hi to the person in seat 2B, and sat down. That should have been the end of it, but a flight attendant who looked young and inexperienced came up to her. Her smile seemed forced. "Excuse me," she said, her voice tense. "Can I look at your boarding pass again?" Isabelle was puzzled but gave it to her. The attendant looked at it for too long, then asked, "Are you certain this is your seat?" "I'm in 2A," Isabelle replied calmly, "exactly like the ticket says." The attendant looked unhappy, quietly said, "Okay," and walked away. No apology, no real smile this time. Isabelle felt a change, that instinct you get when things feel tense and too quiet. People glanced over without turning their heads. Someone buckled their seatbelt with extra noise, but she remained quiet, looking at her notes. The meeting about the company buyout was at 9 a.m. the next day, less than 24 hours to go. Months of talks were reaching the final point. Apex Global wanted to buy her company. They just had no idea it belonged to her. Not yet, but sometimes things take an unexpected turn before the plane even leaves. 10 minutes went by, then 15. The plane slowly filled up, mostly people traveling for work, some faces she recognized from her industry. It was quiet, just the sound of jackets rustling and quiet yawns. Isabelle kept her focus on her tablet, reviewing the numbers. Then 2 men got on the plane looking like they meant business. Not airline workers, security. They wore blue uniforms, had radios on their shoulders, and carried that specific silence that means something awkward is about to happen to someone else. The main officer, taller and in his mid-40s, came forward and said her name like a question. "Ma'am, Isabelle Moreau." She looked up, confused. "Yes. Could you please come off the plane with us for a minute?" Everyone in the front section seemed to freeze. "Why?" she asked slowly, putting her tablet in her bag. "Is there a problem?" The second, shorter officer glanced at the flight attendant, who was now waiting near the kitchen area, avoiding looking at Isabelle. He turned back to Isabelle. "We received a report about a seat problem. We need to check some details." Isabelle breathed out, partly finding it funny, partly irritated. "I've shown my boarding pass twice already." "We know, but we still need you to come with us." She paused. "You want me to get out of this seat I paid for so you can check something you already checked?" The taller officer didn't react. "Yes, ma'am." She stood up slowly. Every person in first class was watching her now. The man next to her in 2B said nothing, just turned to stare out the window as if it didn't involve him. Nobody spoke. Not a single person asked anything or stood up for her. She followed the officers down the plane's aisle, bag on her shoulder, her heart beating hard in a way it hadn't for years. Not since she was younger, presenting ideas in rooms where nobody thought the black woman at the table would be the one in charge. Out on the boarding bridge, the main officer turned around. "We've checked, and your boarding pass is correct," he said. "There was a mistake." Isabelle looked at him closely. "A mistake?" He nodded. "It seems the flight attendant believed, forget it. We apologize for the trouble." Just like that. No real explanation, no one taking blame, no ownership, just a mistake. They said she could get back on the plane, but she shook her head. "I'll catch the next flight," she stated, her voice clear and firm. "Please send me the new booking details." She didn't yell, didn't swear, didn't shed a tear. She simply turned and walked back towards the airport terminal. But the harm was done, and they had no clue who they were messing with. She didn't buy coffee, didn't look at her phone, didn't complain loudly online. Isabelle sat near gate 14 in Terminal 3, sitting straight, legs crossed, typing on her device into a file named Backup Plan. A young airline worker came up, looking unsure, holding a new boarding pass. "Miss Moreau, we've put you on the 6:40 p.m. flight, still in first class. Again, we are very sorry about what happened earlier." Isabelle looked up at him. "Do you actually know what happened?" she asked, her voice calm. The worker shifted his feet. I think there was a mistake with the seats." Isabelle looked straight at him. "Is that what they informed you?" He paused. "That's the only information I received, ma'am," she nodded. "Thank you." He walked away quickly. She tapped her tablet again, opening the personal notes for tomorrow's big meeting, Project Apex. It had pages of information, numbers, and deal forecasts. The bosses at Apex thought they were just buying another small company to add to their aerospace technology business. What they didn't realize, what nobody knew yet, was that she was the founder, the only owner, and the main person in charge of Moreau Technologies, the very company they had been trying to buy for 8 months. She had kept her ownership secret on purpose. Her method was always the same: work behind the scenes until the deal was signed, then let everyone find out. But now, that deal was finished. Not because of the money or even the public embarrassment, but because she had experienced enough disrespect, and Apex Global was about to pay the price. She got on the evening flight without any problems. Same seat 2A, a different flight crew. No apologies were offered this time, just fake smiles and polite nods. As the plane took off, Isabelle closed her eyes and breathed out slowly. The sky was completely dark, no stars visible. It didn't matter. She knew her path. But when she landed, she wasn't going to a meeting room. She was going to pull the plug on the deal. A car was waiting when she arrived at Newark Liberty Airport. Traffic was light, late at night. Isabelle was quiet. The driver asked if she wanted the radio on. She shook her head. He didn't ask again. By 1:15 a.m., she was back in her midtown apartment. The lights were dim. The city sounds were faint outside. She took off her shoes, poured a small glass of ginger tea, and opened her laptop on the kitchen counter. She had one new email from the head manager at Apex, excited to finalize things tomorrow. The board is eager to meet you. She looked at it for a moment, then clicked reply. Subject, change in plans. Body. Effective now. Moreau Technologies is pulling out of all buyout talks with Apex Global. We are no longer interested in any kind of deal. No more discussion is needed. Regards, I am. She hit send. No long reason given. Let them wonder why. Let them be confused. She didn't need to give them a clear explanation. They hadn't offered her any respect. Isabelle leaned back, closing her laptop. Her tea was now cold. Her phone buzzed. A message from her assistant. Got a notification. The Apex team is arriving for the 9 a.m. meeting. Should I cancel the conference room? Isabelle replied, cancel it all, and added, and don't talk to the news reporters. Yet, let them guess for a while. She stood up and went to the window. The lights of New Jersey twinkled far away. From up high, the world seemed small, easy to handle, simple. And just like that, Apex Global lost a $600 million deal because of a moment of disrespect they couldn't even explain well. They thought they were dealing with just another seller, just another person signing papers, just another woman in seat 2A. But the next morning, they would learn her name. Everyone would. The first phone call happened at 7:43 a.m. David Chen, the chief financial officer of Apex Global, stared at his phone as if it were broken. He read Isabelle's email again, and then a third time. Pulling out right away, no reason given, no more contact. He tried calling Isabelle's office. No answer. He tried again, got voicemail. By 8 a.m., the meeting room on the 47th floor of the Apex building in Jersey City was packed. Coffee cups sat full, laptops were open, and you could feel the tension in the air. "Does anyone have any idea what happened?" someone asked quietly. "No, nothing. She just disappeared." "She didn't disappear," David Chen corrected. "She sent a note ending the deal. But why would she do that the day before signing?" People looked around. Nobody knew the answer. They only had questions. The lawyers tried calling her. The public relations team was brought in. A quiet sense of panic spread. Then the first hint appeared on Twitter, an unclear video clip showing a calm black woman in first class wearing a navy blazer being led off a plane. The text with it said she had the right seat, but they kicked her off anyway. Then came another clip. Someone had recorded the security guards walking up to her. You couldn't hear much, but her calm yet annoyed posture spoke volumes. People started mentioning airlines in their posts. Soon, someone figured out which flight it was. Within 2 hours, her name was becoming popular online, Isabelle Moreau. And then the news headlines started appearing. Black CEO taken off flight even with valid ticket. Isabelle Moreau ends $600 million deal after flight incident. Apex. Global faces problems after unknown owner walks away. The meeting room was completely silent now. A junior employee found her profile on Bloomberg. Moreau Technologies is a private company. She owns all of it. They were about to buy out a black female CEO and didn't even realize it, someone else added. She built this technology over 8 years, very quietly, smart. No information got out. David Chen rubbed his forehead. We didn't even know who she was. We never bothered to check. Silence fell again. Then someone from the marketing team asked the question everyone was thinking. Do you think she cancelled the deal because of what happened on the plane? David didn't answer, but they all knew it was true. And outside the building, the company's stock price had already begun to drop. Isabelle didn't release a statement right away. She watched everything happen from her office, barefoot, drinking, from an old mug that read, "Still I Rise." News headlines piled up. Video clips were everywhere online. Comment sections were full. Leaders in the black business community, civil rights lawyers, and old work friends all spoke out. None were surprised by the incident, but everyone was watching closely now. After 2 days, Apex's stock was down 7%. By the third day, airlines were giving weak apologies, changing their rules, and trying to fix their public image. On the 4th day, Isabelle opened her email and wrote a message simply addressed to whom it may concern. Then she shared it. Publicly. Statement from Isabelle Moreau. I was asked to leave a plane because someone decided I didn't belong in the seat I paid for. Not because I was a danger, not because of any rule, but because of how they saw me. You saw a black woman in first class and thought it was strange. You didn't ask my name. You didn't question your own unfair judgment. You didn't speak up. You just watched. I wasn't loud. I didn't fight back. I didn't cry. I left the plane, and hours later I stopped a $600 million deal. This wasn't payback. It was making things clear. This isn't about money. This is about self-respect. And my self-respect is not for sale. Her statement spread quickly across websites and social media within hours. Major news outlets like Fortune, CNN, The Verge, and TechCrunch repeated it. People shared it along with their own stories. Times they were questioned, doubted, or watched too closely, especially in places they had every right to be. Apex Global never managed to save the deal. Their investors started asking harder questions. The company leadership changed by the end of the next quarter, but none of that was Isabelle's main concern. She never named the airline or drew attention to the security guards. She didn't need to. She reminded everyone of something important that people often forget. You can't judge a person's worth based on how you expect them to look. And just because someone stays quiet when you treat them poorly doesn't mean they won't make a big decision that changes everything. So the next time you see someone in a place where you didn't expect them, perhaps stop and think before assuming. They don't belong there. They might be the very reason your company succeeds or fails. Think about the cost of staying silent. Speak out. Do better. Respect everyone, especially when you think nobody is looking.